All right, everybody. My internet's slow and low down here in the basement, and it is a little late. We got out of work late, had a meeting after work, had to go pick up, you know, stuff at the store, that kind of thing. So we're a little bit out today. And anyway, that's what's going on with me. Glad you're here. Welcome to Late Night Gun Chat. Late Night Gun Chat is you just ask questions about guns and I answer them. And most of you know more than I do, and my answers are worth exactly what you have paid for them, unless, of course, you give me a super chat, in which case you've given me more than what they were there for. So, anyway, sorry about that. Starting a little late, but going a little bit later tonight, and we're just going to go for it. So, anyway, got a lot of good people here already. Dan O'Neill is here. Alaska One Andy. Bending Ballistics is here. Good channel. Bullets for Bucks. Howdy, how's it going? You said you were hunting earlier today, so did you get anything? I hunted this weekend, but we had a black bear move across the path too fast, and we had another one we smelled, but we never saw. And then we had another one that was then we had a moose out that wasn't legal in that area. We were hunting caribou. We couldn't get far enough off the road for caribou. Bullets for Bucks, you and I had to get 5 miles off the road. The places we went, the caribou were you didn't have to be. You could be 2 yards off the road to shoot, but the caribou were 20 miles back, so off the road. So yeah, that sucks. All right, what's up, Hunter Kirk? Good to see you. S French, how you doing? Yeah, just what I was saying. We hadn't didn't do much. Oh yeah, man. If a bear is around, you can smell that thing. They smell awful too. It smells like rotten meat. Like they smell awful. If a bear is alive and around, you can smell them. I've smelled it a couple of times, and it's just like it's an eerie feeling too. All right. So that's that. Good to see you, S French. That's the first time I've seen you in chat. Welcome here. Yeah, my trip, it was just ended up being like a scouting trip for next year. But I got an idea for moose in there next year, so we'll see. It'd only be a couple day moose hunt, but might be able to do it. So yeah, zero idea about that. Yep, and it depends on where they are. But I mean, they eat fish all summer. I mean, you gotta smell bad after that. If you're eating fish and pooping fish, you're not able to take a shower. Yeah, that's that. So again, guys, good to see everybody. So what's going on with the channel? Finally going to get a break in the weather. I might be able to go actually film some content that isn't on my couch. So that's that. And make sure you share my latest short. The dumbest thing Biden has said, with bullets going, an AR-15 goes 5 times faster than any other bullet. Yeah, right. So that's that. No luck with small game of birds. We both got 2 ducks in the same spot. I got my last caribou. Yeah, it was funny in Unit 13. So that's that. Trigger Bar Philosopher, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm in Pennsylvania now, but I want to either move to Alaska or Arizona. Random, I know. It's not so random. Either way, you get away from some people. There's a lot more people in Arizona, a lot less, a lot more desert, and less water. Like right now, that's not where I'd move to. Like, honestly, if I wanted to get out of a populated eastern state, Alaska or Arizona, just for SHTF, neither one of those states would be on my radar. I'd be looking more at Wyoming or like Montana or Idaho, maybe even Missouri or Kansas or someplace like that has good access to water and food supply. So that's what I'm looking at. Humans eat fish too, and not all humans smell that bad. Yeah, because they take showers. Bears don't take showers. Any experience or opinions on the 212 grain 30 cal LRX bore rider bullets? Heaviest I've gone is 175 LRX for 308. Curious how you go with your 300 wet. I have not done them. I have not found them. I've gone to the 190s. I haven't tried. I've loaded the 190s and haven't tested them yet. So that's that. What's up? If you want to drop me a link, I'll hop on with you. Yeah, let me get to that. It'll be a minute. What's up, Josh? How you doing from Michigan? So, yep. And guys, while I'm here, don't forget to join my MeWe and t-shirts are in the description below. Both of those links are in the description below. Make sure you join that. MeWe's where I put all my affiliate links. So if you want to see the channel, um, 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 that's that. So make sure you do that. I'm trying to see my. Hold on a second. All right. Yeah, hold on, but bending ballistics. Some tactical futtery. Have you ever hunted a deer with a 223 64 grain in an AR-15? No. My AR-15 did not like them. They were about 1.5 inches accurate, and when you're using something that small, accuracy is more important. So I used 55 grain VMAX. So I would imagine the 64 grain, like the PowerPoint or a couple of the other bonded soft points, would do a lot better. And 62 grain TTSX would do a lot better. But I used 55 grain VMAX. I put it right here, and the deer only went down. They twitched a little bit more than you'd want to afterwards, though. So to be honest, but yeah, I used 55 grain VMAX. So Northern Illinois, you have our prayers, sir. But that's a good question. That's the questions I'm looking for. But no, I haven't. There we go. Copy ULR. Here you go, bending ballistics. I'll send it to your Instagram. That's all I got for you. There you go. It's sending bending ballistics. I don't know if it's coming yet, but it's sending on Instagram. My thing's slow. All right. Okay, thanks. Yep, no problem. Chuck, we got the daughter lined out with their hunting rig at 350 Legend upper. Cool. Awesome. Yep. Hate to say this, but I may be leaving Alaska for a while. My Crohn's disease is getting to the point where I may return to my home state for medical treatment. Yeah, that's serious. Crohn's disease is serious. So, yeah, you might want to do that. What is up, the gun snob? Let us know how we can pray for you, Tactical Futtery, and what we can do for you, man. All right. What's up, Keith Gregory? How you doing? So, that's good. Good evening from Cecil County, Maryland. Working the night shift, watching you live makes the night go by faster. Good. I appreciate that, man. All right, Sean. It's good to see you. All right. So, I am getting ready to go shoot. We're gonna go film some content on Sunday afternoon. I've got a steel plate from Hercules Armor to shoot up. I'm gonna do 338 Win Mag versus 338 Winchester Mag, or 338 Win Mag versus 300 Winchester Mag. I got SST bullets for both of them, so that'll be fun because I hate SST bullets; they break apart too much. So, is what it is. So that's that. Moved from Frederick County, Maryland. Make sure you live like in Virginia or West Virginia and go to Maryland for treatment so you can have your guns, or Pennsylvania so you can have your guns. So, all right. All right. Hold on, bending ballistics. Yeah, it's not letting me do it right. I'll be in PA. Good. Shot my first deer with a Mini 14 223, 64 grain soft amp. Not a fan, very little damage. I like 44 rifle, 308 or 440, 44 handgun better. SHT works great in 308. Yeah, because it's going slow enough. 180 grain SST would be great in 308. There we go. I think it's finally sending there. Bending ballistics. There we go. Tim O'Neill, late as usual. Yeah, I am. Sorry about that. All right. Good evening. What's up? 5 shots R6. Good to see you. First time I've seen you here. Good job. Just spent the day hog hunting out of a swamp buggy in Florida. It was awesome. I'm a little jealous. of that. I would love to take some of my rifles out and just pop some hogs. I don't even eat pork, but because of my digestive system issues, but not because I'm Jewish or Muslim. But I would love to pop them for other people. Moved from Philly to Cecil County for employment. I do miss PA. My goal is to retire to Alaska. There we go. And I'm actually in the process of buying 104 acres in West Virginia to build a compound. Well, cool, man. I need your job. So, all right. Benny Ballistic join the stream. How you doing?
Good. I'm trying to adjust my lighting. I'm getting blinded over here.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
There you
Can you
go.
hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yep, you're good, man.
Okay.
Man, my youngest son used a 77 grain OTM. For those who don't know, that's open tip match. Take her first deer at 10 yards or 10 years old. It was great on lethality. Didn't pass through, no blood trail, move up slower or 180 grain, soft point 357 mag. Slower, heavier. Okay, yeah. Yeah, those lever actions in 357 mag and 44 mag and 41 mag are great little first deer guns for kids. What do you think?
I agree. I'm a big fan of the 243 or even the 6 Creed for somebody of a smaller stature, especially, I mean, if you're shooting at 300 yards and in, 243, 6 Creed, 6 GT, 6 Dasher, 6 Arc, all those will be great for deer. I mean, you're talking a deer. I mean, max weight, what, 250 pounds, generally
Max.
speaking?
Mm-hmm.
So
Generally speaking, yep. So
now
yeah,
I wouldn't use an open tip match
no, I wouldn't either.
projectiles.
Well, some
Um,
of them actually fragment really well. The petals kind of peel back really well, and some of them
mhm.
don't. Depends on that particular bullet, but no, in general, open tip matches are not for hunting. Like I would much rather use a TTSX personally.
Oh, I agree. If you're going to use an open tip match, at least use a burger hybrid,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah,
But
it's gonna shatter like burgers typically do, and maybe you'll have some lethality. But the problem with that is you don't have a blood trail because it doesn't drop the blood pressure very well and pass all the way
yeah,
through. I'd much rather have a TTSX.
or if
Now
you're
I'm
only well, if you're only limited to open tip match, at least get some like controlled chaoses or something like that from
the
Underwood.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't even think that's considered an open tip match anymore. I mean, yeah, but if you're limited to hollow point only, or something like that, it'd be weird. But most states limit to expanding bullets only.
That's how Kentucky is. It has to be a hollow point expanding bullet, but they made the caveat for the controlled chaoses because they fragment the way that they do.
That you
Um,
can't use a ballistic tip controlled expanding bullet.
no, it has. You might be able to now, but we can also use all the way down to a 22 cal.
Yeah, Georgia could use
Um,
any expanding bullet in a 22 caliber or above. Um, and that was the rules. It could be a Beretta 92 with the 124 grain jacket of hollow point in it. You could use it for deer. The Stoic says just scored 2 boxes of Swift 180 grain 300 Win Mag A frames. I bet I may have the last 2 boxes in the world. LOL. 235 boxes for 2 though. There you go.
ooh,
Well, better than not shooting. All right. Here's a good question from Yukon 2A FTW. Good to see you on the chat. Thank you for asking the question. Nice little 4-wheeler there. I need that for my hunting. 300 win or 300 PRC for Alaskan big game. I would say go in a normal times, go 300 win. And same thing in the Yukon or anywhere else in the Western United States or Canada. And the reason why I say that is just more common. PRC is precision rifle cartridge, and you're only going to get 50 to 100 feet per second more. So it's not worth it as far as velocity is concerned. But the design of the case is meant to have better balance in the case. So, for example, I got a box of 300 Win Mag right here. So let me, as I drop another box of ammo to get to it, let me point out an example. So this is a 300 Win Mag. This is probably not a bullet I'll ever use. It wasn't accurate out of my gun. This is a factory Winchester. So here at the mouth, 300 Win Mag, all right, is 0.308 diameter on the inside. But at the shoulder, it expands a little bit. It's 0.315 diameter. So this right there at the neck of the shoulder is wider than it is here, and it doesn't grip the bullet correctly. That's the corrections that the 6.5 PRC, the 300 PRC, made to some of the older casings. In addition to the shoulder angle, and that's why the shoulder angle is what it is, so that you have full grip of the neck here. Whereas in 300 Win Mag, 30-06, 270, or 308, or any of those that aren't precision rifle cartridges, you'll have a little bit of wobble going in and out of your neck, which causes barrel vibrations. Okay, so that's what PRC is made for. And so with that, in the 300 PRC, you can load the really long, heavy bullets with a little bit more velocity, just a hair. It's 25 to 75 feet per second, really, to be honest with you. Maybe 100. What is it? Ron Spomer Outdoors had a good video on it. You might want to check his out. So, I say go 300 Win, because it's, as much as I just down the 300 Win, it's accurate enough out to 600 to 800 yards maximum hunting distances. But when you really want to send that heavy bullet at 1,000 to 1,200 yards, that's when you want the PRC really shines. So, if you plan on taking game, more luck to you. Glad if you have the skills to do it at 1,000 to 1,200 yards, you go PRC. Really, you go like 3378 Weatherby, but or 300 RUM or something like that. But if you're just looking for common ammo, powerful enough, good all around gun, 300 Win Mag is there. And even though it's not common ammo right now to find it, it's still more common than 300 PRC. Like, I've seen 2 boxes of 300 PRC in the past 6 months. I have personally bought 8 boxes of 300 Win Mag in the last 6 months, even though you can't find it right now. I just happened to see it when I'm in a store, happened to be there right when they had it. So that's that. What do you think? Bending Ballistics, go ahead.
So I think it's going to really determine on if the person's a hand loader or not. If you're not a hand loader, 300 PRC, you're not going to be able to dial it in. Like, my 300 PRC, I've got a load for 168s, which is pretty gnarly in the 300 PRC. Now, I have that same load in the 300 Win Mag, and they don't get fun until you get out past 1,000 yards with them. Like, that's the downfall of both of those cartridges. They don't start getting a lot of fun with them until you're out to a little over 1,000 yards, because they're just laser beams anywhere in from 1,000. They're just lasers. Now, if you're hand loading, I would say 300 PRC because of the 30-degree shoulder bump. Like, you take that 30-degree shoulder bump and you bump it down to a 28-degree shoulder bump versus the standard 30, in which it generally has. And now you're creating more pressure in your case, which might be a little more. I don't know how advanced some of the reloaders are in your chat or anything like that. But do what?
Probably more advanced than I am.
But I mean, you start playing with that shoulder bump and creating more pressure. You can create the same pressure with the 300 Win Mag as you can with 300 PRC and get the same speeds, if not a little bit better, in the 300 PRC or in 300 Win Mag. Now, if I had to choose between the two and I wasn't a reloader, 300 Win Mag, because every company, no matter if it's Fialki to Wolf to Tula to Winchester, Hornady, Fusion, whoever, they all make 300 Win Mag ammo, and you're limited to Hornady making 300 PRC ammo, and Hornady brass is not the best of brass, in my opinion.
No, it's not, but it's a lot better than Winchester. So
It is.
but
It is, but if I was going to pick for brass for anything, it would be Peterson brass.
yeah, Peterson, Norma, Lapua, I agree with you. That's that. Especially in the 300 Win Mag, the Peterson has that extra long neck 300 Win Mag that you can specifically get, and I might end up ordering a bunch of that because the Weatherby Vanguard I have tends to have a long chamber, so I might.
I'm going to look. I'm going to look down here too, because there's a bunch of 300 Win Mag around here. I'm going to look in to see what it would cost me to ship it to you up there, because with our SOT, we might be able to ship it halfway decent price.
Yeah, so you still have to import and export it out of Washington. So basically, you have to ship it to an importer exporter in Washington State, and they export it to Alaska, and I have to go pick it up at the dock. And I would pay some fees picking it up at the dock, and you would pay a lot of fees. It tends to be not worth it unless you send a whole pallet of ammo stacked to the brim, you know.
Well,
and then
I can
the
look.
costs are is what they are what they are. But yeah, tends to not be worth it.
Like I said, I could always look and see what it would cost. Because I've got some friends that do import and export internationally out of LA and Washington.
Nice. Cool.
So I could talk to them and be like, "Hey, what can you realistically get this on there for and ship it?" You know what I mean? And I've got friends in Canada too, so I've got friends all over.
Yep. All right.
And a lot of family there too.
David Walcott's making 30-06 or 270 is very valuable in the rural parts of Alaska. Good velocity and variable bullet weight and type. Yeah, they're good old solid reliable cartridges. Nothing wrong with them.
So I have no experience with the 270. I do with the 30-06, and I do enjoy the 30-06, especially in a lever action, which is what it was initially designed for. I love it in a lever action, but I've never shot a 270.
Yeah. I hate 270. Like it's a good caliber. Don't get me wrong. I got a box in the 270 sitting right here and a rifle sitting over there, but I absolutely hate it because unlike 30-06 or 308 or 65 Creedmoor, there's no standard match grade chamber, and so every manufacturer's chamber is different. And if I want to match my lands, like almost every rifle I've ever owned, I'm going to be longer than the magazine length by a lot. And so, and I don't like 270, especially when you can get a 6.5 PRC that's better these days and shoots the same bullets faster or about the same with a better bullet coefficient. I don't see the point of a 270 these days, but it's a good old reliable cartridge. I mean, it does its job. So
now, does it bother you if I vape while we're live?
No, not a bit.
Want to ask permission, not forgiveness.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, M77-44 is a favorite deer rifle, mild recoil, boot power. I agree. There we go. I did pick up some 70 grain Barnes 5.56 and 64 grain gold dots. Still haven't tried them in the field yet. No, those are good. Those are good. The 64 grain gold dots should do nicely.
So I load my 223, with 88 grain projectiles, and they have tons of stopping power. But if you're running a gas rifle, you're not going to be able to get the 88 grains to chamber unless you're single feeding them. They're just too damn long. But now, if you're
running a 22-250,
yeah. But I started playing with the 88 grains with my Valkyrie, and during the ammo crisis, I got bored, and I've got a 223 trainer, and so it was like, let's see what it'll do. And I found a node like right off the rip, and they're just laser beams.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you've had luck with the 224 Valkyrie. People that did the factory stuff with 90 grains and all that kind of stuff, they didn't have very good luck with it. But
so my luck with it was this 88 grain right here. That was where I had the luck with it, was that 88 grain. And I've shot it in PRS matches. I've shot it in NRL matches. Now, it's kind of hard to do with NRL because it doesn't really meet power factor. But I've
Right.
shot at DMR matches too, and it's been pretty good with that.
Cool. That's what I thought. Perfect answer. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. PA minimum is 24 caliber for deer, and Maryland is the caliber has to have a product of minimum of 1,200 foot-pounds of energy. There you go. That's an AR-15, Maryland, but you'd have to go in Pennsylvania. You have to go up in caliber, but 6.5 PRC or 6.5 by 284 Norma for caribou. Honestly, I picked the PRC over the Norma, but I own the Norma and love my Norma rifle, so that's what I carry. Doesn't matter. I mean, what the caribou is going to notice 70 feet per second difference. So, yeah.
Well, my thing on the determination on that would be back to the 300 PRC and the 300 Win Mag is, are you an advanced enough reloader to know for sure that you're loading? Because there's a difference in loading ammo and loading quality ammo.
Oh,
There's
sure,
a
yeah.
huge difference in the two. So are you a good enough?
My 6.5 by 284 Norma loads are the most accurate loads I've ever have. I've got quality loads there that seem to be waterproof because they got dunked pretty good in the Sag River when the rifle dropped in the river. That was fun getting that out. And
How cold was the river that day?
What?
How cold was the river?
Oh, the river's cold all the time in Alaska. It wasn't that cold out. It was about 55, 60 degrees. But anyway, Jason's the guy that runs the cameras for me most of the time. He goes out and runs the cameras for me.
Oh.
So he's asking this because he's probably just asking this to mess with me. I've actually got loads for the 6.5 PRC loaded up. Now, that's the disadvantage of the 6.5 PRC. Like you said, only Hornady's producing it, which is not true anymore. Federal Fusion is producing a load. Barnes is producing a TSX load, not a TTSX or an LRX yet, but a TTSX load for it, or TSX load for it. But, you know, for the most part, all you're going to find is Hornady. You know, if you reach onto an ammo shelf and find 6.5 PRD, it's going to be PRC. It's going to be Hornady, you know, and just reaching on any ammo shelf in the store. And that's that.
I'm right there with you, but
yeah.
mine's 6.5 need more.
6.5 need more. I love it. But, yeah. But I will say, there's actually more factory ammo available for the 6.5 by 284 Norma than there is the 6.5 PRC right now.
Well, you also have to look how long it was on how long the 6.5 by 284 has been on the market, and it's been a very proven cartridge. I mean, it comes from the 6.5 Kokorov, which was just I mean, it literally took out Kennedy.
Yeah, and it comes from the 284 Winchester as well, which fizzled, but the concept behind the 284 Winchester was great. I mean, it's really the first short action short mag, if you will. Yeah. So because of the design of the case, the 284 Winchester, and so you had something more powerful, way more powerful than a 7mm 08, almost taking 7mm Remington Express or 280 Remington on it, whatever you want to call, taking that almost those in a short action, and so the Wildcatters got together, and this was in the 70s before Norma standardized it 20 years later. The Norma or the Wildcatters got together and put that long 6.5 bullet in a long action gun in 284, and so is what it is. Starting to see 300 Win Mag showing up in factory options now. That's good. Yes, Brian. I saw the text you got me for powder. I'm sorry I didn't text you back right away. So you got my phone number, Brian. Just text me. Don't go through the messenger like Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Just text me. The 338 Lapua Magnum. Yeah, that's a good one.
I would go 338.
You're a lifesaver. I texted them. It's on reserve. I will have my 5-pound jug of powder tomorrow, and I won't have to worry about Reloader 22. Just Reloader 26. So,
back to the 338 or 338 Lapua. I've been playing a lot with the 338 Edge, which is a Wildcat cartridge of obviously the Lapua. And dude, it's an annihilator out to a mile. I mean, it meets way more energy factor than what it needs at a mile.
There you go. damn, the first season with the M7744 took a mature doe and a yearling buck in one shot. Situation happened fast at 40 to 50 yards. Never saw the little guy. LOL. There you go. Well, hey, fill your tags, eat some meat. So
I'm not a big hunter. Like, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I'm not big into hunting. Um, like when I'm not at a match, like all reality with you, I'd rather be out fishing than I would anything. Um,
nothing wrong with that.
um, so I'm not
I
huge into hunting, but
yeah, I love hunting, so that's my thing. Like my 338 Win Mag. Cool. I've been building my modern day Alaskan gun. I've set up a 458 Socom that I use a 320 grain 458 hollow point that I sized to .458 with powder coat humming at 2,200 feet per second for an AR-15 as a modern gun. There you go, man. That's a good idea. I'm actually getting a Pro 2A Tactical. I have links on my MeWe page. Pro 2A Tactical is actually sending me a 458 SOCOM. I just got the email today. So they're sending me one, and I'm going to use it in several videos. So, absolutely. So,
can you find benchmark powder?
Which powder?
Benchmark.
I have half a container of it left, a half an 8-pound jug left. So
okay, benchmark. So I've got a 458 SOCOM, and I've worked up a load all the way up to over 500 grain projectiles with benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gnarly, but I'm not pushing nowhere near the speeds of what
right. Benchmark doesn't in most calibers is, in most calibers, like I use benchmark for 223, and it's always 100 feet per second less or 150 feet per second less, depending on your bullet weight, than BLC2 is, for example.
Yeah.
But benchmark seems to be just a tad bit more accurate, whereas BLC2 is an MOA to 3/4 MOA, whereas that benchmark will actually get it to be half MOA to quarter MOA if you know if you do your part,
Yeah.
which is rare with me, but is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, guys, Pro 2A Tactical, go check them out. They're supposedly sending me something, and I've got to do about 4 or 5 videos on it, and so I'll have a 458 SOCOM in the collection. So is what
I
it is.
love that 458, man. I've had really good luck with it, honestly.
You got magazine recommendations?
I use Lancer mags for it.
Okay. The ones made for the 458, correct?
Yeah. And you're gonna see on the internet, and just trust me from somebody that has a 458 SOCOM that's loaded all the way up to over 500 grain projectiles, do not cut your mag. You're going to see on all these forums that, oh, you have to cut your mag, you have to do this, you have to do that. Do not do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it will not feed that projectile, start dropping off. But so I was on a channel, I guess it was about a month or so ago, and they were talking about the 458 SOCOM, and they're like, oh, you have to cut your mags. You have to do that on the 458, the 450, and the 50 Bayo. And I was like, no, you don't. I have all 3 of those, and I have never cut a single mag. The difference in a standard AR-15 mag and the 458 SOCOM mag is literally the follower.
That's
now that they fixed the follower issue with the 458 SOCOM and changed out the follower, you're good. So if you ever wear out your Lancer mag and the follower is still good, just drop it in a mag pool or whatever mags you use. Cool. But you can get it to feed in a standard mag pool PMag also. It's a little more fickle in it, but it will feed I definitely recommend getting steel feed lips for it. Whatever mag you get, just make sure you get steel feed lips, because that round is fat and it is heavy, and it needs all the help it can get to stay flat.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Say you go fly fishing, what is your bear defense gun and how do you tote it? Generally, I've been carrying in a Kenai Gunfighter's chest rig my 629 Classic 5-inch 44 Magnum, and I also carry my, you see it behind me, I can't touch it here, Henry 4570, and that I carry on a sling, over my shoulder. The Magnum is purely because the Henry's on my shoulder. When I'm walking and my hands are otherwise occupied, I have the Henry out, ready to go. But when I'm fishing, it's over the back of my shoulder. And it's pretty good. I need to get it Cerakoted because it got some rust on it from being wet, and then on my back, pressed up against my back, it was already rusting. The blued standard blued steel was already rusting from that. So I need to go get it Cerakoted so the rest of it doesn't rust, obviously. So I'm thinking about actually taking my Henry X, and I wish I could pick it up and show you guys, but YouTube's anti-free speech rules. I want to actually get the black part of it Cerakoted OD green and leave the handguard and the stock black, and then the rest of it Cerakoted OD green. So is what it is. So
The one thing I've really noticed, especially since the coof and everything went around, the bluing quality on these rifles that are coming out now, because they're just producing them so fast, it's not the same bluing quality in which you saw prior to COVID.
coming up.
But rattle can always goes. Psst.
Yep, there's that. That always helps too. Are you finding large rifle primers? Some. I've mostly got them from other people, friends and stuff like that, who had too many. So that's that. Soft points will do that. Hollow points pass through, but not more energy side to side. That depends on what you're talking about. Speak with Jake at Unknown Munitions. He has a shipper that he now uses to ship his custom ammo to Alaska. Okay. Yeah, there's that. Ryan Hartman, a personal carry in 1911 I fish. Yeah, I've carried everything from a Glock 21 and 45 with 200 grain plus P flat nose total metal jacket bonded, and I've carried my 45 Super, same gun actually, Glock 21 that I converted to 45 Super. I carry that a lot. Now I carry the Glock 20 or the Glock Model 40 or the Glock 29 as well. So yeah, there's some good things there. So yeah. How was your caribou hunt? We couldn't get back off the road to find the caribou. We found a good moose spot and a good black bear spot though, so might be doing that next year too. We'll see. Recoil difference from 300 Win to 338. I'm planning on stepping up from 308 to one of those two for elk and moose. And what do you guys think? 338 kicks a lot more, especially with 250 grain bullets. If you're doing 210, 225 grain lead bullets, not the copper ones that are long, then you can get away. Yeah, it's not bad at all. But if you're hand loading, you just take it down 0.5 grains of powder and you're fine. My 338 has a muzzle brake and a limb saver, and it still kicks the fool out of me. My 300 Winchester Magnum, I do not have the muzzle brake on it yet. I plan on putting it on this week. I don't have it on there yet. My 300 Winchester Magnum kicks about the same as the 338. So 338 does kick a lot more, in my opinion. It's not unbearable, intolerable. My wife shoots the 338. She doesn't mind it. She's carried it for hunting before, but 300 Win is kind of where I'd be. I have a lightweight 300 Win, and my 338's over 9 pounds without the scope. And they're about the same. So, tells you what it is.
I hate my 338 Win Mag. It is brutal, but it doesn't have a muzzle brake on it. It weighs less than 10 pounds with the optic. It's just the crown on the end of the barrel. And I hate it. Like, I will shoot it. That way I know that I can still handle it. But I shoot it like one time and I'm done. So.
Thanks, Guillermo. All right. How about an Alaskan duck hunting show from harlequin ducks to sea ducks and cold weather dog tips? Well, my duck dog just died, and I don't really duck hunt anymore. So without her, and I'll get another one eventually. But sometimes I duck hunt. We duck hunted. I got out in the pack raft to retrieve our ducks. Like I carry the pack raft. We duck hunted on the way back from caribou hunting. So is what it is. Soft tips from the 7744 would be good bear bullets. No, you want hard cast for bear. You want hard cast.
Now, have you used the Underwood ammo for bear or anything like that?
Like the extreme penetrators.
Yeah, like the penetrators or the extreme defenses or anything like that.
The only thing I've actually shot a bear, well, I've shot a black bear, albeit it was a small one with 10 millimeter straight through the head. The extreme defenders went right through the head and exited, and I had to put 2 in there. The with a brown bear, I shot it with some hand loaded 200 grain 45 super, and that did a lot better hard cast. And I think hard cast is a little bit better, easier way to go. In fact, I found the bullet in the shoulder. I gave it to the guy who hand loaded it for me and said, "This is the only known bullet to go through a grizzly bear head and be pulled out in Alaska. That's 45 super." And so he
So
has that on
what's
his desk. So
what's the big difference in 45 Super and 45 ACP? I don't shoot a whole lot of pistol rounds, like
yeah,
especially for
45
hunting. Like,
super is much thicker on the walls and the back, and so now my numbers are crazy because I have a 6.61-inch barrel in my 45 super,
mhm.
and it's designed for a 5-inch 1911, of course. So a 230 grain plus P 45 auto is going to get 950 feet per second, right?
Mhm.
Maybe 960, 970. I've seen a few push, but that's going to be giving you about 460, 470 foot-pounds of energy, right? That same 230 grain will be pushing between 1075 and 1100 in a 45 super. And then in
Oh,
460 Roland, um, it'll be pushing over 1200, if not close to 13.
so is it
Um,
kind of like the 357 and the 357 SIG? The 357 SIG is more of the Magnum caliber of the Magnum, kind of, or 9 millimeter Magnum, I guess.
9 millimeter and 357 sig. Yeah, it'd be kind of like that, except it would be more like 9 millimeter and then 9 millimeter plus P plus P plus. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
so
It's because
yeah,
the
so
45 super on the outside is the same dimensions as a 45 ACP, which is why you have to be careful. You have to shoot it in a fully supported chamber. You have to shoot it with an extra heavy recoil spring. Muzzle brake is iffy. You don't. It's not required like 460 Roland is, but it's recommended by some people. And then you have to get your magazine springs to be sturdier or heavier to catch up with the slide moving faster. Um,
so it's more like a 45 major, I guess.
I don't know that one. It would be more like, I mean, it's dimensionally the same as 45 ACP on the outside.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just outer brass, and you have to make sure your platform has, yeah. I
Well,
have no
it's
clue
like
what 45 major is, so
everybody assumes like 9 millimeter is just 9 millimeter, but in our reality, you have 9 millimeter minor, 9 millimeter Tokarov, you have 9 millimeter Luger, then you have 9 millimeter plus P, then you have 9 millimeter major, and it's all the same dimensions minus the Tokarov. It's 9 by 18. It's all the same
yeah,
dimensions.
yeah,
However, pressure is totally different in
yeah.
all four of those.
So you never see a 45 plus P plus. So 45 super is like a 45 plus P plus plus. Yeah, that's all it is.
So, like, let's just say I had a 45 ACP Glock. Could I shoot 45 Super out of it?
If you want to die, yes. Um, yeah.
So, do they make a 45 Super pistol?
No, you have to modify them. Certain custom 1911 makers make them. So like I was saying, you had to have a fully supported chamber barrel, an extra heavy recoil spring, and an extra heavy mag springs, and some people even put in extra heavy hammer springs as well.
Oh,
Firing pin retainer springs or the firing pin springs and stuff like that as well. But you have to have a fully supported chamber, which Glocks do not have. So that's why Glocks blow up, is when you have too heavy of a pressure of a round, that unsupported of the chamber. And it's an ammo fault. It's the person putting that ammo in there's fault. All right, it's not the Glock's fault, but that unsupported area of the chamber blows down. And that's why Glocks blow up. So you'll blow yourself up with a 45 Super and a regular barrel. May not happen the first time. Maybe it does. Who knows? I would not do it. So,
So if somebody just wanted, I don't want to stay on this topic of 45 Super because I know you want to keep going. But so would, in essence, like a SIG, like the old SIG 1911s, would it be able to handle it, or would it be more of like one of the new custom Kimbers?
It would be
If
more
somebody were to buy one,
customize your gun to handle it. Period.
Okay. Okay.
So there's no like when I'm saying custom, you can get like Ed Brown and Nighthawk Customs and all of them and many others to build you a 45 Super gun. All right.
Okay.
And if you're gonna do that, get a 6-inch barrel, because the 5-inch barrel is pointless. It's a lot like 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter. If you want the great ballistics, get a 6-inch barrel. You know.
Yeah.
So
that's the caliber I'm pretty familiar with, is 10 millimeter. I don't do a whole lot with pistol, but when I do, it's 9 millimeter or 10 millimeter.
Cool. Been loading 168 grain TTSX and 175. All right, haven't used them yet. Rifle season open here September 17th. Vance, what are you planning on using them with, and what load 308? There you go.
I've been using 178s and 308 here lately. I slowed it down a little bit and got a little more power factor. Out to, because splash on 308 at whatever 1,000 yards is kind of hard to see with 168s. I bumped up to 178s for just power factor on that.
Finally getting a 10 millimeter pistol, Springfield XDM Elite. Do you know what brand of chest holster for a husky person? Yeah, get the Kenai Gunfighters Inc. Kenai chest rig. Yeah, that's the one to get. My brother almost bout the 6. That makes no sense, Marcus. That was good. Thank you, guys. Just out of the hospital, man. Well, I'll help me feeling better. Just bought a 6.5. Okay. Good for him. What did you get? Yeah, 308 is great, man. 308 Dan O'Neill is great. I hear SOCOM's 458 are nice.
They are. I love mine.
458 SOCOM. I'll send you a bunch of cast bullets I make, and we will get you a load made up. Those molds I got you will work really good for 458 SOCOM. Cool. I'm still not getting in Mountain Lead. I have no place to do it in my house right now. But
yeah, y'all just had the baby too. How's the baby doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Yep. It's the 2-year-old that's the terror. You know how it is. All right, so but he's cute. He's getting better. He's improving.
Well, good.
Large rifle primers are tough right now. I'm in Alberta, Canada, and local store said they put an order for 90,000 primers, and Federal only sent 9,000. They were limiting to 200 per customer. Yep, that's the way it's been.
So that's one of the big reasons why I've been running Peterson brass for as many years as I have. When I reload, is because I can get small primer pockets for everything. Then I only have to focus on 2 primers: small pistol, small rifle. I don't have to worry about 15 different.
Do you not use small rifle Magnum for like the Magnum for like 300 Win Mag?
No. So honestly, a Magnum primer and a standard primer, the difference in the speed in a Magnum primer out of a Magnum cartridge is like 3 feet per second. So if you bump up 0.2 of a grain or 1/10 of a grain, you're gonna create that 3 feet per second. 3 feet per second. So I don't, and I ran that experience with 300 Blackout is where I ran that experiment on a 7.5-inch barrel, just to see, like, because you're gonna really see that speed difference on something short like that. And
well, not necessarily, because like a Magnum primer is designed for the slower powders over a longer barrel. And so I always run like when you're starting to use 4831, 4350 and going from slower from there, um, which like then your bullet then you'll notice that difference over a longer period. So that's
And
what it is.
generally, like the only powders that I really use, honestly, too, are CFE Black for 300 Blackout, Benchmark for 458 SOCOM, Varget for 308, 300 Win Mag, 223, 300 PRC, 338 Win Mag, Rotumbo for 338 Lapua, and H4350 for 6.5 need more. But generally, I won't buy a cartridge unless it takes one of those powders to reload it, because I can find a load with whatever powder. I can
Sure.
find a load somewhere, but that's the powders I stick with. And then I'm not stuck in this situation like how a lot of people were when COVID hit, that they have 20 different powders for 21 different rifles that they have to load that rifle. I've got 4 powders,
Mhm.
and with the advantage of like the level that I shoot at, the advantage there too is like I've got people at all these powder manufacturers that I literally pick up the phone, hey, I need an 8 pound jug of this and I need it as soon as I can. And so like during COVID and everything, one of the companies I shoot for started just providing me with ammo because you couldn't you couldn't get components to reload. So they were like, well, fuck it, we'll just order ammo straight from the manufacturer and get it sent over to you. And so that's what I've been doing the last year and a half, was just shooting factory ammo.
Mhm.
And it's made it a lot easier. Except for my Wildcat stuff. That
Yeah.
has
So Hunter Kirk says primers are $99 per 1,000. Getting more variety now. Saw some Remington brand yesterday in North Idaho. Cool. Yeah. I've got a few different varieties, mostly CCI. You know, primers to me are primers. They don't make a huge difference in accuracy to me when you change them out, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. But I'm like you. For 7mm mag and 6.5 by 284, Reloader 22 is my powder, and
yeah.
it's the one you couldn't find. And then for anything else right now, um, IMR 4831 is my powder. All right.
Yeah.
I might be trying other powders, Magnum and a few others and stuff like that, to get some velocity and stuff. But I'm trying to find some Reloader 26. Um, you know, 22 250 is taking H380. So I'm doing this, and the 22 250 I'm not really worried about accuracy. As long as it's inch and a half, I'm great. I'm really worried about speed in the 22 250. I want to get it going as fast as I possibly can.
Well, talking about speed too, I mean, if you're, let's just use for an example, you're in a shit hit the fan scenario. Yeah, these Magnum calibers are great, but they're not going to defeat a level 4 plate like a 22 250 will that's running 5,000 feet per second. The way
Yeah.
you defeat plates and stuff like that, it's not by energy on target, it's by speed,
Hmm.
dispersing energy on target. Because
Yeah.
speed, I mean, it's all in the physics of it.
Yeah.
I ran
Well,
an experiment.
I can get a 300 Win Mag to run 4,000 feet per second, like a 22 250. And if
Yeah,
you got a 22 250 to run 5,000 feet per second, you got to have a 32-inch barrel, buddy.
well,
But
but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. No, and the level 4, but the problem is bullet construction.
Yeah,
Anything that's 110 grain that I can get going 39. I think it was 3930. It went in that body armor video where I did 300 Win Mag versus body armor. I think it was going 3930, and it kind of is what it is. But the bullets, all the 110 grain bullets, aren't very solidly constructed.
yeah.
They're to bust apart. So you can shoot it that fast, but it's gonna bust apart, and the vest is gonna absorb it. You're gonna give the guy a bruised rib, maybe a bruised organ, but broken rib maybe and a bruised organ, but you're not gonna be able to like punch a hole through it. And so when you go into actual armor piercing types, like the 163 grain steel core that I was given by a friend. Thank you, New York Prepper, if you're out there, by the way. Like it's going so much slower. It's only, it's going great. It's going 3330, which is fast. It's way fast. It's 500 feet per second more than the 30-06 with the same bullet, right?
Mhm.
Um, and more than, and it still didn't go through. You know,
Yeah,
so it almost made it, but it didn't quite make it. So like, in order to get through body armor, you got to either have a 300 Weatherby, 300 Rum, 3378, or you got to have something like a 22-250. And the advantage to 22-250 is you can get M855 ball bullets or M193, solid ball bullets that stay together, pretty well.
I
And
agree.
yeah, so that's the advantage of 22-250.
Well,
And I
that's
would
also the thing with like the 8.6 blackout. I don't know if you've been following that at all.
no, not really.
So it's like a 1 in 3 twist out of like a 12.5 inch barrel, 10.5 inch barrel. The
Hmm.
same company that Gorilla Munitions, the same company that created the um 300 blackout, created the 8.6 blackout, and it's designed for the same stuff that the 300 blackout is, except for the twist rate is faster and it's a 338 projectile. But a 1 in 3 twist with the 338 projectile, you almost have to have a solid copper projectile or that twist, because 338 projectiles generally are pretty soft lead and they just blow apart at a
Yeah,
twist rate like that. And so I think there's going to be a lot of suppressors that are going to get destroyed with that. And
possibly.
I hate to say it.
Yeah. David Walcott, I have no idea what a 7744 is. What is that? That is a old Ruger bolt action. This is a 77, and it took a rotary clip 44. They had a semi-auto version of it, similar to a 1022, and they had a lever action version of it called a 9644. Any of those are a collector's item. If you find it, buy it right away, David. So just so you know. Any
Now I've
experience
been
with 338 Federal? I've recently seen that the military is using it for long range precision. It's a good hunting round. No, the military is using the 338 Norma mag for long range precision. 338 Federal is designed to be a 338 bullet to go in a short action case, so it can go in an AR-10 platform. Um,
so that's what the 8.6 is based off of, is the
yeah,
338 Federal and the 338 Raptor. But
mhm,
how the Raptor and the Federal have that 40-degree shoulder bump, the 8.6 Blackout is a 26-degree shoulder bump, I believe.
mhm,
I've got all the specs written down. I'm working with Eagle Run 2-3, helping him make brass for it and figuring out what shoulder bumps and everything are. So
yeah, just reverse him. How's it going? Where's Chook? He always works on Tuesday nights, so he does his own chat on his own channel. All right. Thoughts on a 300 WSM with a versus a 30-06 with a 24-inch barrel? Um, you're gonna get more recoil and more speed. I mean, with a 24-inch barrel, you'll really produce that 300 Winchester short mag to do what it's gonna do. In the 30-06, you're gonna get 2 more rounds possibly in the mag. There could be 4 or 5 rounds in the mag with the 30-06. So just depends on what you want. If you're just gonna hunt everything, 30-06 is fine, and you can get 5-round mags for a Tika. You can get 5-round mags for a bunch of different guns. 300 Winchester short mag, you're going to get 2 rounds in the gun and 1 in the chamber if you're lucky. So that's that.
I've shot one 300 short mag. I zeroed it for a guy at 300 yards. So I have no dog in that fight other than I shot one once and zeroed it at 300 yards for him. But I'll tell you this, it didn't group very well at 300 yards.
Yeah,
It's good enough for hunting, but
sure.
um,
Yeah. Can a CZ 550 kill a Alaska brown bear? Any gun can kill an Alaska brown bear. You can kill one with a 22. Just, are you talking about defending your life from one that's charging, or are you talking about hunting one? So yes, the CZ 550 with the right ammunition in it can kill a brown bear. Um, wouldn't be would it be my first choice? I don't know. I don't know all the calibers a CC 550 comes in.
yeah, I
Um,
don't know.
Yep. Rebarreling Bergara to 7mm actively improved. We'll be using a 308 Lapua Palmer brass to neck down. Should get a 162 grain ELDM around 2750 feet per second with 24-inch barrel. That's impressive. That's good. Kenai gunfighter in a chest rig. Yes, absolutely. My favorite one. My favorite non-custom chest rig you can go buy. It's Kenai gunfighter. Spend your money on it. Get a 338 Lapua Magnum and a CZ 550 Kilo Bravo. Sure, absolutely.
Well, I think anything. See, I'm right there with High Desert Hunter.
Yeah.
Varga H4350. I mean, I've
I have
even got loads for
never
9mm.
an accurate load with H4350. Never.
Do what? You can never what?
I've never had an accurate load with H4350.
Do you have a 6.5 Namor?
Yeah, I have 3 of them. They don't like H4350.
What grade?
Not with the 127 grain LRX anyway, which is the hunting bullet, because the ELDX is a piss poor hunting bullet. So,
man, you got to jump up to 147s, James. I'm telling you.
yeah,
Or the
nope,
153s.
nope, because the 127s perform excellent on game. Like, I'm not looking for long range target shooting.
No, I know. I'm punching steel. You're punching critter.
Yeah,
there's a huge difference in what we do.
Obvious bullshit is what you're doing. So,
hey.
I'm just kidding.
There's a championship back there.
Yeah. But no, like the LRX is what I like on game, and I can get it going fast enough that, and the BC is still decent enough that it's gonna be all right out the 700-800 yards on game. So I'm not really worried about the weight of the bullet and the BC of the bullet. I want it to perform when it hits bone, hits rib bone especially. So LRX is where I'm at.
I should jump out of here and just type bullshit enthusiast on my title.
Nah, you're all good. No, I mean, that's a lot of valuable information, though. So, Acme Bullet Company sells 500 and 576 coated grain cast bullets for 458 Socom. Shot a lot of them in my 4570s as well. Great group in school. All right. If I hadn't got to your question yet, I'm sorry. It has been over an hour, and I am going to put it in the comment below, comments when this goes, and that's that. Yeah, Stay Ball 6.5 powder has been my most accurate powder so far, so I'm going to keep trying to develop the load with that. So
now, if you're running a progressive, Stay Ball is where it's at.
Oh no,
now,
single stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I still can't. Do you have a trickle charger?
I have a Lyman electronic powder dispenser. Yeah, trickles it in.
And you're still not. How far off the lands are you?
On the 127 grain LRX, I'm copying the factory round. I'm pretty far off the lands.
I would try to get like 60 thousandths off the land, like extend it out a little bit to that 60 thousandths mark, and see if you can get it
doesn't
to
run in semi-auto. Like, I got to make one load that goes in all 3 guns because it's the shit hit for the Vance load. So, so you can't run that in the semi-auto. So I don't like having loads that are so specific for one rifle when I own multiple of that caliber. I own multiple 6.5 Creedmoors, and
that's how I am.
And all 3 of the guns like the factory. I get about an inch with the Savage 116. I get about 3/4 of an inch with the Arrow, and I get less than half an inch with the Bergara. So if I can find something that works in the Bergara, it should also work in the Arrow and the Savage relatively well enough to be a HSTF load. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I'm looking for. Is if it works in the Bergara, I know it'll work in the. If it shoots MOA in the Bergara, I know it'll also shoot MOA probably in the Arrow. So I'm just looking for what it is. There's a whole there's a whole group over on MeWe that'll tell you how to reload your own primers, and stuff like that. I don't load 4570 yet, so all right.
Wait, so people are reloading primers now?
Yep. Oh yeah, have been for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh. Yep. Yeah, you can still get the 7744 and the 77 357 steel butt as a stainless steel bolt. Oh, that's even better. Yeah. I use 22 grains of 5744 with a 500 grain hard cast and 4570. So 13 grill of grains of Trail Boss. It seems like those would all be subsonic loads. I had to look at that. 300 WSM, probably 300 feet per second more. Yeah, 500. What's up, MY Prepper? Kenai are great. I have two. Yep. Kenai Gunfighters Inc. Kenai chest rig. They're great. Try IMR 4350. Even my 300 Weatherby does great. Good. All right. I like the rotary magazines, but there's so many things that can go wrong with it. Agreed. That's one of the best ones you can use. Google user, if that's your real name. What's your opinion about 338 Federal 20-inch barrel and an AR-10 platform for charging brown bear defense? If you go look at my top 10 brown bear defense guns, you'll notice that that's number 2 on the list. Like,
What's number one?
A 4570 lever action.
Oh.
Yeah. But number 2 on my list would be a 338 AR-10, 338 Federal AR-10 with either 210 grain or Barnes TTSX, or even there's the 210 grain nozzle partition, 225 grain nozzle partition. Any of those would be fine. Fine bullets for bear defense with that.
So I just finished a gas rifle that everybody told me was impossible to do in gas, and it's a 6-dasher. I don't know if you ever shot a 6-dasher or not.
No. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar with
So
it.
everybody told me it's impossible to make it feed because it's got a 40-degree shoulder bump. So I 3D printed a new follower, and it's nasty. And a gas rifle, like, because I love running gas DMR matches. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
What is your preferred Glock barrel brand? KKM. KKM's the only one to get.
You don't like Faxon?
No, not for fully supported chambers. No.
Oh.
I'm not looking for a Glock barrel. I'm looking for something to support the chamber.
Oh.
But also, what is your premier Ruger 700 versus Ruger American versus Moss Protector versus Savage X2? If you can find an older one, Remington 700s blows the rest of them out of the water. It's not even close, man. So
I think that's relative to what you want to do with it. If you plan on putting it in a chassis, Remington 700. If you're looking for a budget rifle that'll work to take game, go with the Ruger. I'm not a big Savage fan. I've worked on a lot of Savages at the shop, and I'm not a huge fan of Savages. Mossberg, I've been really eyeing one in 6.5 PRC at the shop, but it's going to have to go in a chassis, and nobody makes a chassis for it yet.
Which is your preferred 10mm barrel load? The 200 grain hard cast from Underwood, if you get an older lot number that they're actually loading it with enough powder in it. Yeah. Hey, Mark. Love the channel, man. Thank you very much. Got a quick question. I want to get a nice bolt action with the wood stock, and I've decided between a Bergara B14 Hunter and an older Remington 700. Which do you think is better? Depends on how old the Remington 700 is. If it's over 25 years old, yeah, that one's better. If it's less than 25 years old, no, I go with the Bergara. I love my Bergara. My Bergara is the smoothest bolt action I own. It's smoother than my Tika, and it's very accurate. So honestly, if you're going to go buy a new one off the shelf, that's not even a question. Go buy the Bergara. But if you live where it gets warm and cold really quickly, like so when I was in Georgia, it could be 20 degrees in November, and then by the afternoon it was 70 degrees, right? You can have a lot of zero issues. So if you're shooting with a wood stock, because you want to make sure that wood stock is properly fiberglass bedded or pillar bedded by a gunsmith. So that's the one thing I have to say about that. You wouldn't do that here in Alaska because of just gets so cold it's going to swell your wood and stuff like that. So
I would go with the Bergara, but I'm with you. I would probably go away from the wood stock. I would go with the synthetic stock. If you're really hell bent on a wood stock, go with a Wooks stock because it's a polycarbonate wood. If you're wanting to stay with the like synthetic stock, but you still have that um wood texture to it, get a foundation. That's my opinions. You'll be able to do anything you want to do with that rifle with either one of those stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you protect it good. Put a lot of extra coats of finish on it. Just take it out and put like 10 more coats of finish on it and get the thing shined up nicely, and you'll be good. Brad, last question here. 450 Bushmaster and AR-15 versus 4570 and an AR-10. First of all, 4570 doesn't go in an AR-10. There's an actual 4570 auto that goes in an AR-10 type platform. If you're trying to choose between the two, financially, you go to the 450 Bushmaster just because that's a $3,000 gun in the AR-10. Plus, each piece of brass is like $4 each, just for the brass to reload it, because it's a specific cartridge made for an AR-10 to have the correct bolt face in order for it to feed. So 4570 government does not go in an AR-10. It can't. It can't possibly feed. So that's that. So. Yep.
I'm with you on that. I love the 450 Bush.
Yeah. So between those, yeah, I like go 450 Bush. I would go 458 SOCOM over 458 Bushmaster. But that's because the 450 Bushmaster was designed for deer hunting with your AR-15, and there's not as many cartridges out there for actual bear defense, whereas the 458 SOCOM was not designed by SOCOM to just knock the freak out of people when they hit. So
it was actually designed to stop engine blocks at the border, was the initial, and it does a damn good job of that.
Yep. So, yep. As long as they fit good bed blocks are great. You can really crank down the extra screws. There you go. All right. Yep. There you go. A good. I love the looks of a good wooden stock. Highly polished. It looks great. So is what it is. All right, guys. God bless. Take care. We'll see you at the range.
See ya.